Hey guys, this is the Lost My Notes podcast with 2/3 of Ybot in the house today, and we are very, very pleased to announce, as you can see, that we've joined here by the legendary Damian O'Neill.
Legendary.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I have to throw that in there. From, of course, Undertones, Petrol Emotion, and he's currently got an album he's just put out recently with the Monotones as well, which is we're going to speak about all of those brilliant works as we go through this man's many. If I say many decades, it makes it sound like it's
well,
bad, but,
you know, funny
it's
enough,
good,
it is decades because yesterday, which was the 15th of June, was the 40th year to the very day of anniversary of Teenage Kicks being recorded.
Wow!
So 40 bloody
40
years ago.
Years, wow!
So 4 decades, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite amazing.
So yeah, how, you know, you're young, Toby, but I feel really old now.
If we maybe look at your background, what first got you really interested in music?
Well, back we got to start. So I'd say it was around 73. Just watching me and my brothers, and we loved Top the Pops, you know.
Yeah.
And back then, of course, you had T-Rex.
Yeah,
we always loved T-Rex. So T-Rex was probably the thing that really got us interested. And I love Gary Glitter as well.
Yeah.
The Glitter Band, and then Slade. So it was all that kind of around the glam time, 73, 74. Right. David Bowie. So mainly singles, not albums, but mostly singles. So we'd watch Top of the Pops religiously every Thursday. So that got you, when you're 12, 13, 14, that got you really interested.
Yeah.
And you want to check out, so you buy the records, and then and it sort of snowballed from there, really.
Yeah. So it's interesting, isn't it, with the glam records, a lot of the vocals sound more rowdy than supposedly harder music, like heavy metal. It's a lot more kind of almost sort of gang sounding, you know.
Also, I think what we loved was, because around that time it was a lot of hard rock, heavy rock, prog rock, whatever, and the glam stuff was a relief from that. It was more 3-minute pop songs with great tunes, great production, and even then I don't want to do that. We want to be in a band that's like that rather than playing loads of big 10-minute guitar solos or something. Not that we could do anyway. You know? Right. So that's what appealed to us about wanting to be in a band. Those singles.
That's cool. Wow.
So you were playing already?
Well, not then. No, the band sort of formed before it was called the Undertones. It was around 75. It was basically my two brothers, John and Vincent, and then there's Mickey Bradley and Billy Doherty. So who became the nucleus of the Undertones, really. They started just playing acoustic, trying to learn acoustic guitars. Billy had bongos, you know, doing some kind of, those days, might have done a Faces cover, Oh La La or something from the Faces record, and maybe a couple of Beatles songs or something. You know. Right. And then eventually Vincent left. I replaced Vincent because he had to study for his O-levels. Yeah. So lucky me, got to replace Vincent. Yeah. So that's how I got in the band. And then just before I joined, they'd found Fergal as well, Fergal Sharkey.
Right, yeah.
So kind of, once I joined in, it kind of got a wee bit more serious, so we started practicing in our living room. You know, we could barely play, but you try and work out chords. And back then, John really was the leader. He was the leader. He always was the leader of the band. He was the eldest. Yeah. But we all respected John, maybe because he was older, but he was most knowledgeable about music, because he would buy music papers, The Enemy and stuff, and he would know about all these really obscure bands. Right. Like, you know, whatever, prog rock bands even back then. We were really impressed with that. So he called the shots even then. Right, okay. And then it kind of, you know, he started writing the songs then, you know. I see.
So as he was, as you say, the leader of the band and the kind of head of information as well. In a way.
He was,
So was there ever a stage when there was like a competitiveness between you with music, between you and your brother?
Me and my brother? No.
Did you just kind of always look up to him?
Definitely. Vice versa as well. Though, you see, John would tell you, I mean, he's really modest, and he would tell you he's a terrible guitar player, But it's true that back then anyway, he didn't have a great ear.
Yeah.
So he always had trouble tuning up. So I used to help him tune up and stuff. But instead of being pissed off about that, he didn't mind.
Yeah.
Instead, he was more intellectual, more into words and stuff. So he kind of, because he couldn't and Mickey Bradley, our bass player, was also very, very musical. So he couldn't really compete with us musically. But instead, he thought, well, okay, I'll try and write songs as myself instead.
Right.
And present it with a band.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. They could improvise and help me along once I show them the songs, and that's what really there was a lovely blend there. It really worked really well.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question. So because when you were playing in your living room, when you said, were you recording yourself?
No, we didn't. Not then. The first recording actually I've actually got it on a cassette. 1976. It was springtime, whatever. So it was, well, in Ireland it's never that nice, but weather-wise it wasn't raining that day. So we actually went in the backyard of our house, and we did 6-7 songs, all covers, and I recorded on my little cassette player. So I still got that. Actually, it's priceless.
Wow.
I mean, it's a great document.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we could barely play, so it's painful. There's a lot more tuning up and playing, put it that way. But it's really good because there's little arguments going here. You're playing it wrong, and all that. It's funny.
It's nice to take you back to.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do like Dr. Feelgood's song. I think we do Back in the Night by Dr. Feelgood.
Right.
So it's
yeah.
75. So we'd heard Down by the Jetty or whatever, and I think we did Badge by Cream. I think that was one.
Right.
Sympathy for Devil, Rolling Stones.
Oh yeah.
And we love the Rolling Stones. So probably a couple of Rolling Stones songs.
Yeah.
Jump Jack Flash probably as well.
Yeah, some classic songs there. So did you have to? How did you scrimp and save to get your first guitar? And
for me, actually, I think John helped me. I think I saved up to about £14 or something, and John gave me John was working at the time. He had his first job working in a local paper, so he gave me the other 14. I think it was a Wolvers guitar. Put it out in Wolvers, and I think it was £28 or something.
Right.
And he gave me half the money to buy the guitar, which is a very nice thing to do. So that was my very first guitar.
Lovely.
I mean, it was terrible. I could barely play it, barely playable.
Yeah.
It was so cheap. But after that, we scrimped and saved and did odd jobs, and it got serious then when we knew we wanted to pursue it. My dad got us a loan from this they were called Provident. It's like a credit union company kind of credit, give you credit. So they were able to give you like £300 up front, and you pay it off every week.
Right.
So that's what we did for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We paid it £1 a week each or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Like £5 every week.
That's kind of like nowadays when they used to have the crisis loan for.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, but that was invaluable for us because we were able to buy a drum kit, which is really expensive, and semi-decent amps and guitars.
Yeah.
£300 back then was a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Still a lot now. I mean, and do you have two favourite guitars now?
Yeah, I've got quite a few guitars. I'm not like Kevin Shields I haven't got hundreds, but probably about 10 or something. Gretches, I've got 2 Gretches which I love. I've got a double anniversary Gretsch which I bought 1983, I think, for about £400 in London, and I've got a Chet Atkins one which is even nicer.
Nice.
From the Undertones days, which I kept.
Oh,
but there's a story of that one that got burnt in a fire in Council Flat during the Petrol Motion days in Borough. It got completely charred, the neck, most of the body.
Oh.
So I thought it was ruined, but luckily managed to get it repaired in Denmark Street, and they did a great job.
Wow.
So that's maybe because it's survived that. That's my favorite guitar.
Yeah, it's got a real story to it.
Yeah.
Wow. And so when you were starting out with the Undertones, Were there any other punk bands around Derry or around
No.
Ireland that were?
Not well in Ireland, not in Derry. We were
Yeah.
definitely on our own.
Yeah.
But we had a mutual friend who knew this band called the Raiders from Space in Dublin, punk
Yeah.
band, who eventually signed to Chiswick Records.
Mm.
So they were really, really supportive. They invited us down to play with them. So we did that a couple of times in 1977.
Yeah.
Very nice guys. Very, like I say, encouraging.
Yeah.
And they were a really good band actually. And they were
Wow.
into the Clash and same music
yeah.
taste as us.
Yeah.
So it was great to see them
Yeah.
and get that encouragement. Meanwhile, unknown to us, there was a kind of scene going on in Belfast, which is much closer than Dublin, but we didn't really know about it until John Peel played Stuff of the Fingers, Suspect Device.
Oh wow! Wow.
in
Yeah.
1978, April 78, whatever. So we
Must have
didn't
been huge for you.
really know about this band, and then we did go to Belfast once to see them play, I think, or Portrush, which is near seaside town between Derry and Belfast.
Right.
But we didn't like them because they still had long hair and they were doing kind of Thin Lizzy covers as well.
Right. Yeah.
We were a bit suspect about them. So.
Okay.
But it wasn't until we did a sort of Battle of the Bands concert much later in '78 that we finally seen bands like Rudy, Outcasts, and discovered there was a big burgeoning scene going on in Belfast, which is cool.
Oh, lovely. And what would you say from the late '70s period when you guys first really broke after like Teenage Kicks and My Perfect Cousin and these? What was the wildest tour that you guys went on? Do you think? Which bands were just like blowing your head off?
Well, we didn't. You see, we were really boring. We weren't party animals. We seriously weren't. When me and John would have like a drink or two, but the others would kind of go to bed and kind of think. Honestly, we were terrible, really boring. So we didn't see any rock and roll excess. And we didn't get involved in it.
Yeah.
I mean, our favorite tour though would have been the Clash. We supported the Clash in '79
in the States. No, you
in
went
the
on
States for 2 weeks in the East Coast.
That actually leads me to a question about because our drummer he's from Brooklyn, and he actually saw you
in '78. In New York.
In New York,
with the Clash.
78, 79.
79.
Yeah,
right.
he's seen that show in where was it? We did 2 nights with Clash in New York, Palladium. Palladium.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think Will's got a story for.
Right.
I'm gonna read it out, not in his Brooklyn voice, unfortunately, which would sound much cooler than my bog standard South London accent. But he says the first time I saw the Undertones was November '79 at the Palladium in New York City. There was also Sam and Dave, Undertones and the Clash. I wasn't very familiar with the Undertones, but a bandmate of the time, Stu, loved them. I was there to see the Clash in the context of my expectations of that gig at the time. The Clash were the coolest band around. It was my first time seeing them, and they had their trademark look and vocal style, visual style. But we had to sit through Sam and Dave, who I respected, but I thought they didn't belong on that bill.
Right.
That's his opinion.
Okay,
yeah. After Sam and Dave, these 5 skinny, malnutrition-looking young guys come onto the stage like they'd just rolled out of bed. I hadn't heard them before, so I had the same impatient attitude when I saw them walk out, because I was eager to see the Clash. Well, the skinniest guy out of all of them, the singer, Fergal Sharkey, said into the mic with a heavy, at the time, unknown foreign accent, because he's from Brooklyn. This is for all you guys who fuck your sisters. And they played Keep It in the Family.
Oh, fantastic.
So after that, I was instantly hooked and bought all the records in the week after the gig and saw them whenever they came to New York. Their attitude was a lot more punk than the Clash, I thought, because they looked and acted like regular kids, like me and my mates of that time, and had a similar attitude. We had seen The Fall for the first time not long before we saw the Undertones, and somehow, and in his view, the Undertones' attitude reminded me of Marky Smith, circa that era, and also fell in love with the fall via a very similar experience at the same venue. So he just wants to say, thanks you for taking the time to be on the podcast, and he regrets he can't be there.
Oh, that's great.
He just says cheers. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't remember Fergal saying it, but obviously he would. That's so typical. I just remember the Clash where, I mean, they were lovely to us. They really treated us really well, but they were very professional.
Right.
So
yeah.
very posy.
Right.
Playing the gangster thing, gangster chic, because they used to dress up with that trilby hat.
Yeah.
But so professional, whereas we were very kind of shambolic.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had set lists back then.
Right.
You know, we just we do now. Okay, we'll do that one. So
the Clash were really like battle hardened by that time,
totally. I mean, they were like a machine.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
There was two bands who were amazing back then, punk bands that I'd seen. The Ramones and the Clash. Boom, boom, boom. Fantastic, professional. So we were. There's no way we were in that league. But so but it's funny. We would have been kind of more like the Fall, kind of see what happens, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
And just dress what you want, and you know.
Yeah.
But still, it was a great experience, as you can imagine.
It must have been amazing.
So the music you were playing, was everything was written, or you had some improvisation?
No, never improvised. We never. No, we could never really. We weren't improvisers on stage.
When we were watching this documentary about the Undertones, which you can see on YouTube. I can't remember the title of it.
Here Comes the Summer.
Yeah, Here Comes, and there's a really interesting bit. It's just a little 10-second sequence where they're playing a cinematic interpretation of Teenage Kicks. It might be like
the punk orchestra, something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably the first documentary. There's two documentaries.
Right,
it's Teenage Kicks. What's called Teenage Kicks? I think the very first one with John Peel.
Yeah, with John Peel.
Yeah, it's got the some Augusta doing Teenage Kicks. That's right.
And it's amazing how actually, you know, orchestral that song sounds like. You know, the chords and, you know, the melody. It's very, very multi-layered.
It is.
And you know, when you and that really separates you guys still now to this day. Like when you hear it, there's not one feeling going on with your sound. You know, it's very
very true. Yeah. I mean, again, a lot. Well, we all kind of wrote songs, but John was the main songwriter, but he wrote the best singles, especially, or bulk of the songs in the Undertones back catalogue, guys. But he just had this genius for melody and coming up with things, you know, which is that's every band. Every great band needs a great songwriter or songwriters, you know. Yeah. And luckily, we were lucky, very lucky.
Well, you trusted your instincts. Well, there's a lot of guys in bands where they sometimes hold back. They go like, oh no, that's too melodic, or that's too.
No,
you know,
we would never ever
trusted,
think.
Yeah.
Don't think we ever threw any songs out where we said it was too melodic. No.
Right. Yeah.
No. Definitely not. If anything, I kind of do wish that we were a bit more experimental, though.
Right.
We did. Yeah. We were a bit conservative in our writing. You know, later on we did experiment with the third Positive Touch LP.
Right.
We were listening to a lot of American like 60s bands like Love and psychedelic.
Right.
Bands,
yeah,
which I was really into.
Yeah.
So we kind of changed. We went got away from the Ramalama, Buzzcocks, Ramones thing to West Coast America, or whatever, 60s West Coast America, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish we did a bit more like that. More.
Yeah.
Maybe even
go. Yeah.
Even more
venture down that.
Venture. Yeah. Whereas I think we did a bit more with that Petrol Motion later.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll definitely get to that in a little bit. I just wanted to ask one last sort of question about that particular era. Did you, because you know a lot of it's two. One's a really stupid question, and the other one's a bit more serious. One of them is that I noticed with all these music mags, the journalists seem to be obsessed with coming up with theories about every song's about masturbating. Like, have you know?
Well, that comes from a quote from Fergal Sharkey years later.
Right.
He said Teenage Kicks was about masturbation. It was a lot of.
Yeah. He was just pulling their legs.
I don't even know if he's pulling our leg, but Really, I mean, we were kind of upset about that because that's bollocks.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
absolute bollocks.
Yeah, it's got much. It's,
Sorry, but what would Fergal know? He didn't write it anyway.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he just said that for a good quote.
Right.
And ever since it's been gone down, everybody
Yeah.
thinks it's about
'Cause
masturbation.
they always say that, and they always say turning Japanese.
Oh yeah, is another.
Yeah.
All right, I heard that as well.
Yeah. But it just to me, to me, it always struck me as just like these journalists. They've got that on their minds. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an easy quote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one other last question about Undertones is: did you notice a shift of when punk was starting to no longer be what was, the first wave of punk, and
Yeah.
it was kind of, and did that affect
It
the
kind
scene of what you were around?
Yeah,
or-
kind of 80. By 19, our peak, I guess, success-wise was 1980. It was a
Yeah.
Hypnotize album, and with a top 10 hit with Perfect Cousin, and everything was great. Then I noticed by the end of 1981, you had bands like coming up, Teardrop Explodes and Dexies, and
Yeah.
and we took a bit of time off. We signed a new record contract, and then our third LP wasn't like the previous two, so we without knowing it, we were on the slide down.
Right.
Even though we did have a few minor hits
Yeah.
with It's Gonna Happen and stuff. Yeah, the climate had changed, and then by 82, it completely changed with all the new romantic
Right.
bands coming up. Your Duran Duran, it all became pop,
Yeah.
like
big-
a boy bands again.
Yeah.
And we were never going to
Expensive
be.
clothes and-
We were never going to appeal to little, teenage
Right.
girls. That's for sure. Not with our looks. So it was, it was all over by then without it knowing it. You know what I mean?
But you were actually quite a dashing fellow in those, in those old, those young videos. And you still aged really well,
Right.
which is, I think a lot of musicians these days would be jealous of that, There's a lot of guys you see pictures of then and now, and you're like, shit, is that the same guy? Like,
Yeah.
Which you still look the same, right?
Thanks.
But okay, so we're going to take a brief little break, and Damian is going to have a little route around for a few of his most choice records, and we'll have a little chat about that and go into more stories from his long legacy of music. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Here at Let It Roll Records in Kentish Town.
So we are back.
So we're back. Okay, great. So, what have you picked out for us, Damon?
Well, all from the 60s, actually. Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet.
Lovely. Yeah.
We, again, in our early days, Undertones, we loved the Rolling Stones anyway, but we loved particularly, for me, it's their finest moment, because it came after Satanic Majesty's Request, which was it was a bit of a mixed bag.
Right.
And this is their Back to Basics record. And we covered, I think, Parachute Woman. I think I've got to get a recording of us doing that somewhere.
Yeah.
Street Fighting Man as well, we
Yeah.
used to do.
Yeah.
Every track is just...
Yeah.
And Keith Richards' lead guitar playing on this is incredible.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's their finest moment, and
Nice.
we love this record.
Yeah. And it's definitely like a shift in terms of sort of lyrically as well. They get
Yeah.
a bit fiercer as well, don't they?
Definitely. And of course, this is the original sleeve, but back then it was
Yeah.
banned, I think. So they released it as a white cover,
Right.
which is the one I always remember it by. So it's kind of weird actually seeing the album now with the toilets in the toilet. Fantastic.
It's weird that it was banned for the
Yeah.
toilet.
I know, but
cover,
back then they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great records.
Amazing.
Stooges, Funhouse. Well,
Yeah,
what
speaks
can
for
you
itself.
say?
Yeah, yeah.
One of the best records ever made, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Just remember hearing. We had a mutual friend who was a doctor's son. Nice guy, really into music, because he was his doctor's son, he had a bit of money, so he was able to buy the Stooges and the Doors and the New York Dolls.
Yeah.
Because he quite well off, so he was able to get an import.
Right.
You know, because back in Derry you couldn't buy those records in record shops; you had to order it.
Yeah.
So he lent us. This is '76. He lent us, all, you know, Stooges, the Dolls, MC5.
Yeah.
We got our musical education, but I remember hearing Iggy's voice for the first time. It was like hearing Jim Morrison's voice as well. It's kind of wow, that beautiful
and it's
low
like
baritone, but and then the guitar playing, of course, the guitar. Ron Ashton.
Yeah, amazing guitarist.
Jeez.
And it's kind of when you hear singers like that, you realise, oh, you can. That's a new way of singing. That's
yeah.
You don't even realise that kind of way existed before that.
The power of his voice, the lyrics as well. Yeah, he's
and just as a straight performer as well.
I think it's
amazing.
Top 3 records ever made for me, maybe not, if not the best ever. And I went for.
Did you get to see the Stooges when they
did?
Performed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both when they did Funhouse and they did when with James Williamson, Rob Hart.
Right.
Both equally fantastic.
Yeah.
Both is good.
It's amazing.
And it did. I had a backstage pass actually when they did Funhouse, and I should have gone, but I just wanted to get the tube home because it was in Shepherd's Bush, and I live in South London, so I stupidly went home because I thought I would have to get a taxi otherwise.
Yeah.
And instead I gave it to a friend of mine, my backstage pass, and then later the next day he showed me a picture of him on his phone. I had me bloody Ron Ashton, his arm around Ron Ashton. That could have been me.
Yeah, damn it. It's one of
what
those
an idiot. That's
if only moments.
Stupid idiot. It's my own fault. I went for Rubber Soul, Beatles.
Yeah.
Could have gone for Revolver as well. They're my favourite Beatles records. Just again speaks for itself. The songs.
Yeah.
At their peak.
They're another. I mean, I know some people go, oh, the Beatles. How can you like? Our drummer is always having a go about me liking the Beatles, but for me, it's like there's songs. They're like there's so many bands out there, and I put you like I put Undertones and the Beatles both in that same bracket where the feeling isn't one feeling. It's this like it could be sad, it could be happy. It's in that little grey zone of it's very hard to do that as for songs. Usually it's just like it's angry or it's
sure
Well,
it's a very high compliment to compare us to the Beatles. I wouldn't do that, but
no,
but that's very nice.
I really feel that way because when I hear you guys, it's like there's this, there's a feeling that you get. It's like a bubbling. It's not a heavy this or it's a heavy that. It's bubbling around. It's a feeling I get from what
thank you.
You hear.
But fantastic. Where would we be without the Beatles? Yeah,
definitely. And the bass really kind of came out a lot in those two albums as well.
Exactly. It's funny, I was never that keen on Sgt. Pepper. And still, to this day, I'm a wee bit suspect about it. I always thought this was their finest pop moment, mid-60s.
You're getting more of a distilled version of...
Yeah,
definitely.
And if we go back to your history as a musician, so the end of your main band was it a difficult?
83 we broke up. We'd released our fourth album, Sin of Pride, and it didn't get anywhere. It was. To be honest, it wasn't a great record anyway. It was overproduced. We'd spent far too long on it. We really desperately needed to get a hit, and it was all going horribly wrong.
Like too much of an effort.
Too much of an effort.
Yeah.
We had a new record company and pressure was on, and Fergal Sharkey wasn't happy. You could tell he wanted to go solo.
Yeah.
So it was fragmenting. Even just recording the LP was, I've got bad memories. It was just not good. Not a good time. It was funny. It was recorded down in Camden here as well.
Right.
And it was just not a nice time. And John and Fergal were arguing a lot. So it was inevitable because it wasn't a hit really. We were getting less people come to see us live. It was just inevitable it was going to break up.
Right.
Fergal said he wanted to leave, and we were all, yes, let's do it. It was horrible.
From what I saw from the documentary that we watched, it was also that year was just really rough for you because you were stuck in London and you had like
Yeah,
you know.
well, that was true actually, especially afterwards, because when we broke up, there was no money.
Right,
Honestly, we had to
yeah.
sell all our gear.
Yeah.
We had to auction our gear off. In fact, the 2 Les Pauls I had in the Undertones sold them.
Oh man.
Imagine that.
Damn it.
Can't believe.
So the success of Teenage Kick didn't help.
No, well, you see, that back then, Teenage Kicks didn't become this kind of iconic song that it has since.
Right.
So it was just a song. It was just
Yeah.
it was a popular song, but
Because now it's featured on so
I know,
many films
but back,
and that, yeah.
back then, it wasn't even a hit back
Yeah.
when it was first released.
Right. It's amazing to think.
Didn't even get top 30.
I mean, that's got to be up there in the top 10 punk songs ever. You know, it's got a life of its own.
Yeah.
And so with what got you into that Petrol motion was your brother?
Yeah,
started
again,
to-
it was John at the helm,
Yeah.
being the leader. He went back to Derry after Undertones broke up, disillusioned
Yeah.
completely. Really was. He didn't pick a guitar up for
Yeah.
6 months or something. He then started getting back into music via his friend Raymond Gorman.
Yeah.
Raymond and another friend started this it was called the Left Bank Disco, where
Right.
they were playing reggae
And were you on a hiatus
Contemporary.
from music at this time? Were you,
I was stuck in London and Twickenham,
Yeah.
doing nothing.
right.
It was
So you weren't jamming with anyone or no?
I tried to get a band with Mickey Bradley, but it wasn't good.
Right.
It just didn't work out. Yeah, no. Less said about that, the better. Luckily, we didn't make any records. But John, meanwhile, was getting enthusiastic again by
Yeah.
doing this Left Bank Disco and discovering, bands like Perubu and Captain Beefheart and stuff that we would not really wasn't in our orbit back in Undertones days.
Yeah.
So he was getting more of a musical education.
Right.
So it got him enthused, and he started writing songs. And
Yeah.
him and Raymond were co-writing, and it was inevitable that they were going to have a band. So they
Yeah.
recruited Kieran McLaughlin,
Yeah.
drummer, who was also from Derry,
Right.
and decided the only way to make it was to move to London because there was nothing going on in Derry,
Yeah.
and also try and find a singer. So John and Raymond came to the place I was staying in Twickenham, because I had a little Fostex 4-track, and they did a demo on a 4-track, but they hadn't mixed it, so they wanted to mix it on my 4-track. So that's when I first heard these early Petrol songs, and I was like, yeah, wow, these are amazing. Can I get involved in this? But obviously they didn't need another guitar player, because
Right.
Raymond and Kieran play guitar. So I offered services to play bass.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so dynamic. Those songs. It's like to me. I mean, I know maybe Primal Scream are defined as the sort of progenitors of that sort of style, but to me, that was like the first band I heard where it's sort of like dance rock in a way, because it really had a beat that it wasn't just a rock beat. It was a beat that, it was kind of like there was a bit of, even though maybe it mightn't have been intentional, but it's like a bit of hip hop in there. Or something,
Definitely.
know.
Again, it's at this Left Bank Disco, they would play loads of hip hop.
Yeah.
John and Raymond, whatever, and then they were into African Bambaataa and stuff. Bands, groups like that. So it was inevitable that the first Petrol's LP doesn't have that, but by Babel, the second one, you can hear the dance elements for sure.
It's really cool. One of songs I was listening to on the way here, and listening before as well, but just listening again because I was just like, it's really. It was giving me a bit of a strut as I was coming down the road. It's Blue to Black.
Blue to Black. Yeah. That's funny. That's kind of Charlie Mingus sample at the very start.
And I was going to say because it's got the sax going on there.
Yeah.
And with Stooges, they had a lot of sax going on as well.
Dave Mackay from Stooges. Yeah.
And do you think maybe was there?
Probably was subconsciously. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a great track actually.
Yeah,
that was.
really,
I think that was Kieran McLaughlin wrote that. Kieran, the drummer.
It's brilliant. Yeah, and
yeah.
If you don't know that song, go check it out.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones in Babel.
Yeah.
Came out great. Kieran was really into jazz, and he loved Mingus, Charlie Mingus. He was
Right.
always playing in in the tour bus,
Yeah.
Charlie Mingus album, I think it was, or whatever. And he really wanted. He just thought back in those days, everybody was sampling, so we thought, well, let's sample. Kieran wanted to sample a segment of some Mingus track, so we did it.
But it sounds really fresh because
it
it's
works.
sampled in a different way. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not like that kind of linear loop. It's got that. It's like a kind of stuttering kind of every time it sounds slightly like it's
It is
coming.
a stutter thing. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a really short segment. I mean, I don't even know if did we get permission for it? I'm not sure.
Well,
It's probably too late now. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he won't get sued.
It's that's a phenomenal track. The
other thing about Petrols, back then, but again, worth remembering is we had a good producer. Rolly Moseman produced Babel on the third record. But he produced the Young Gods. See, we were good friends with a band called the Swiss band called the Young Gods.
Yeah.
They were good friends with Steve Mack actually, and then they played with us and gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
So Rolly Moseman had produced the Young Gods, and we loved that harsh production. That he
Yeah,
gave. That was industrial
really cool.
almost.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, there's like definitely like a kind of metallic.
Definitely.
Yeah, like very.
So.
Yeah, it's not smooth. It's harsh edges, and it's
we wanted a harshness. So
yeah.
he gave us that. Unfortunately, over the years, it has aged a little because you've got that drum sound, which is.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's still. I kind of like that though as well because it brings me back to a time of when there was real balls to the wall attitude in.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And Fireproof as well.
Fireproof's a great record. I think.
I really love that. Like because that's. I mean, it's got a bit of that dance rock going on as well, but it's also got this kind of wall of sound, sort of noise rock thing going on as well, where it's it's really.
I think it's one of our best actually. That and Manic Pop Thrill and Babel. They're three of the best. Fireproof unfortunately was our last record.
Right. Okay. It's so riff heavy as well.
There's some great guitars.
Yeah.
And Fireproof, probably the best guitars we'd ever done. By then, of course, John had left, so we were writing songs ourselves.
And Burning Hand is a song that really stands out to me as well.
Which one? Sorry,
a Burning. It's like, well, maybe I'm not giving it the full title, but it's like. Light them up, burning hands.
Oh God, what's that one? I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's like
it's got the
I don't know, it's like candle burning in my burning hands.
I can't remember.
But to me, I mean, these guys are probably not my favourite band ever, but I look at like some of the bands that came along later, like many years later, like Kasabian and guys like that, and I kind of think they maybe took a little bit of the approach of what you guys did, but not as wild as well. Bit more on a safe.
You're very safe. I don't really like that group.
Yeah, so that you could. Yeah,
I think I think one of our problems, we were a bit too eclectic. We'd try all different styles and stick it in one record, and unfortunately that doesn't always work. Just confused your audience.
Well, that was the thing. Is another thing I noticed is that there was also it was like such a huge difference between, say, Cellophane, which is like kind of quite folky, kind of waltzy, kind
sort of accordion.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Pogues song, maybe. Even
and that song, it seemed like it was almost maybe about. I don't know. It almost felt like there was some kind of tragedy that was being spoken about in that song.
Yeah, it's quite political actually.
Yeah,
it's about Northern Ireland really.
Yeah,
but it was done in a lovely waltz time, which is good. Rather than being a harsh song, but it's nice to be kind of even the music to be more subtle.
Yeah, it still stands out.
But
really.
the thing again with the Petrols, we had our harsh songs and fast songs, pop songs, but we always had slow kind of ballady songs in every record, which I like.
That's good. Yeah,
it was quite diverse.
Would you say when you were in that band, was that when you were going most getting obsessed with pedals and things like that?
Not me. No, funny. I was never a pedals guy ever.
Was that because you were on bass at that time?
Well, bass for 2 albums.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I switched to guitar from
Yeah.
fourth album onwards.
Yeah.
Chemicrazy onwards. I was back on guitar again. So no, did the others have pedals? They probably they must have. I can't remember, to be honest.
Right. So because some guitarists, they pedal is key to everything they do, and other guys it's just the feel of how you do it.
It's that I'm in that
Yeah.
ladder. I'm on the ladder.
Yeah. That's cool. So you also with the Petrol Emotion and particularly with the Undertones, you've gone back and done some gigs, some really big events, really big festivals, played across Europe and the world.
Yeah.
And it's been phenomenally in demand. It's people love to come down and see what you're doing. That must be really gratifying to.
Totally. It's just the fact that I've managed to avoid work for lots of years.
Yeah.
Real work. Is quite an achievement.
Of course, yeah, it is amazing.
That's just, I've got really great memories of that Petrol Motion, because even though we weren't that successful, we did a lot more touring than the Undertones ever did. So we consequently seen the world more.
Right.
And that's a better way to be young and around my 20s, even early 30s, and still get this travel and still get a wage. Fantastic.
It's great, but it's also it's good because. I was when I skipped a question from the Undertones, which was that when you kind of going, because you were really a teenager, you were like 15, 16.
I was 15 when I actually was started in the group, and then I was 17 when we changed
started really
kicks.
playing. So
quite
you were
young.
basically you were a child when you were
still
out on tour across Britain and Europe. But as you say, you didn't enjoy the touring so much at that time.
Oh,
so
I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, okay.
The others didn't. Right. I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe because I was the youngest.
Right.
And I didn't have a steady girlfriend or anything. So I was more. I don't mean that in a bad. It's like I was looking to get laid every night. It wasn't that. It's just I know.
You didn't have.
I didn't have to go home all the time.
Yeah.
For instance, I would stay in London more. When the others went home, they all flew back home to see their girlfriend. I hung out,
friends and
see bands, see friends. So I had a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no more routine and.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. So, so you've recently put out an album. It's Rewrite, Reprise, Revise.
Refit, Revise, Reprise.
Refit, sorry, not Reprise.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Refit, Revise, Reprise. Yeah.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
it's a good sobriety test question.
It is. A couple more beers and you wouldn't get that right.
Exactly. So that's with the Monotones.
Yes.
And what this outfit that you've put together, who's the personnel that you, and how did you get them together?
Well, it's kind of just me, really. I mean,
Right.
I only came up with the Monotones idea of a name after recorded.
Okay.
Because I didn't really want to do it under Damian neill. That's kind of boring.
Yeah, it sounds more like a folk album.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Kind of pretentious even. So I thought it'd be good to get another band there, a pseudonym.
Right. Okay.
And it took me a while, but I came up with Monotones because obviously it's a play on Undertones.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
And a few years ago, me, John, and Paul McClune, the new singer from the Undertones, we did a 3-piece thing in mini tour of Holland acoustically. We called ourselves the Semitones.
Right.
So I thought, well, I'm on my own here, so I'll call it the Monotones.
Oh yeah. Well, I like the gradual.
Yeah. The only tone that'll be the next one. When everybody dies off.
Yeah, the tombstone tones are so annoying.
Tone alone.
So so this album that you put out, what struck me with songs like Sweet and Sour and Just Wanna Be, is that it sounds like it's really we're kind of hearing the genesis of what really got you first into music and what were your first inspirations and
Absolutely. I think it was maybe unconsciously. I started listening to a lot of glam rock again. From way back again, T-Rex and Sweet, especially Sweet. I love Sweet. who never get their due actually. Sweet,
No, I don't
great band, great. But well, the production anyway, and
Yeah.
Chinny Chapman and all that.
And their B-sides were
On their
always-
B-sides were great, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a couple of years ago, and maybe unconsciously I just came up with things, and it was that's which turned into Sweet and Sour and Just Want to Be With You. It's kind of not
Yeah.
really that glammy. That's more of a pop, Beatley, kind of even Ramonesy kind of song.
Yeah.
But it's kind of those are the kind of songs I could easily have brought into the Undertones back in the day,
Yeah.
back in the early days.
Well, I like the the way you the link to the Ramones there, because with a lot of their lyrics, there's a lot of like kind of look at sort of self-reflecting, but in a very humorous way as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, you gotta have humor.
Yeah.
Gotta have humor. I always. Thing is, though, I actually am a terrible lyric writer. It doesn't come natural for me. So I could easily come up with the music, but lyrics could take me months.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
And Sweet and Sour, I sweated over that for a long time. I remember.
That one's very interesting because it's got a lot of strong strong images that you put in there, and they juxtapose each other a lot
Yeah.
as well.
It's
And it
kind of about.
it's yeah.
It's more or less like about people like Trump or Boris Johnson.
Yeah. Okay.
Scumbags like that.
Yeah. Sort of people that just it's impossible to not have an opinion about them
Yeah.
because it's just they're so obnoxious that
Yeah. Obnoxious politicians, basically.
Yeah.
Liars.
Yeah. And the Just Want to Be as well. It sounds like there's some kind of tinges of regret in there as well.
Yeah.
About
It's not.
sort of
It's not
hindsight
about,
giving you.
So it's made up. It's fictional. It's
Okay.
not in real
Yeah.
life, fortunately. But yeah, it's good.
So maybe
Yeah,
like
it's just
a mix of what you felt before from
Oh, yeah,
situations.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the tune was quite sweet. Deserved a kind of corny, kind of 50s, 60s pop lyrics.
Yeah.
And I gotta sweat it over that. I'm still not happy with those lyrics actually. I think they could have been a bit better, but
No, I like it.
Thank you.
I think it's good. It's really solid work, And so if people want to get hold of your latest albums, is there any websites or which label can they go to?
well, I'm on Facebook, Damian
Yeah.
O'Neill and the Monotones. There's a
Yeah.
Facebook page. But I've just recently signed a deal with Shell Shock
Okay.
Distribution.
Cool.
So you now can get it on Amazon,
Right. Oh, that's good.
which is brilliant, which
Yeah.
you couldn't before. So
Yeah.
I think Amazon's probably the best. I was doing it through Pledge Music,
Yeah.
but that's new. That's basically the you've got a time limit with Pledge, and I think it's up at the end of this month.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to order it through Pledge after early from end of June onwards. So,
Okay. Cool.
So yeah.
And one other little question: do you have any gigs, any tours coming up?
Everybody's been asking me, could I do it live?
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't played live?
No, you see,
Monotone.
I'm reservations about that because I have to sing.
Right.
I mean, I'm not the greatest confident singer in the world. I mean, it's not singing; it's not going to be the problem. It's remembering the words.
Yeah.
And then playing guitar as well.
If you did play it anywhere, which venue in London would you like to do it?
God, somewhere small.
Yeah, so like 100 Club or something.
Yeah, it's
better
probably too
sound
big
than
for
that.
me actually.
Okay.
And if I do it, I'll do it local first, pub,
Yeah.
just to see if I can get away with it.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a drummer.
Yeah.
A drummer who drums on the record wants to do it. Brendan Kelly from That Pit of Motion will play bass.
Oh wow.
Because I play bass mostly on the
Yeah.
album. So I've got a drummer, bass player, and I can't decide whether I need another guitarist or if
Yeah.
we can get away with a 3-piece. We'll see.
Okay. And lastly, is there any collaborations? Are you featuring anyone's works
The
coming
only
up?
thing I've done recently, there's a band called 5 Billion in Diamonds, which
Yeah.
Rich Fig is in. It's
Oh,
kind of
right, Butch Vig, yeah,
he-
from Garbage and
Garbage, and
Yeah.
they did an album a couple of years ago, which I played on 2 songs, and recently I've played on 3 songs, so it probably won't be out till next year, but
Yeah.
just guest appearance, some guitar.
I think it'd be really good if you guys if you did something with Ash because that performance you did with
well,
Jules
we
Holland
did
was really
did
good.
backing vocals. Me and Mickey Bradley did backing vocals on their single Buzzkill. Which is
Okay.
great.
Nice.
Really great single.
Yeah.
And we did a thing in Belfast recently with them live.
All right. Oh,
so
cool.
it was good.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, no, they're good, nice guys.
Yeah, lovely. And I guess just to roll it off, we'll just because I haven't seen you for about 3-4 years or something.
Yeah, long time.
So we'll just pass you on our
thank you very much,
our
Toby.
stuff here. So that's our first album,
Yeah,
and this is our recently just put out EP. It's
cool. Thank
7
you.
tracks. You can get that Ybot at Bandcamp, and just search in Ybot and you'll see a bunch of stuff.
Excellent.
And so this has been a great podcast here with Damian O'Neill, here at Let It Roll Records. It's 121 Kentish Town Road, I think.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can come here and you can get coffee, you can get soft drinks, and very reasonably priced records, and you can hear them as well. And, and there's no robots here as well, which is good, you know.
Thank you very much, Damian.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
We
was great.
appreciate that. Cheers.